Alright, well, we got a hole in the fence. These cattle have been kind of hanging out here, and now all of a sudden I guess they decided they wanted to come up here and see what I was doing. We got about an hour left to combine in here. Hopefully it'll turn around. Hey, holler at Don. Hey Don, I'm sending 3 your way, I guess. You might want to try and turn them around. Alright, I gotta put this down so I go. Oh, nope, there they go. Up through the corn. Great. Well, I'm moving equipment. Gotta move from Weeping Water down to Palmyra. You can't see this, but probably that well. There's a mine over there, and these people had to leave their soybeans because there's a big sinkhole right here that all of a sudden opened up. And yeah, that's kind of a common thing when they mine under around here. Oh yeah, there you can see it a little better, but sometimes they just get a spring going or something underground, and you'll never be able to, you know, get it hold dirt then anymore. It just slowly washes away. Alright, well, I've cleaned my windshield, at least the front one. Side ones are still pretty bad. We're opening up the field. We're getting all the end rows. This field, this new customer, that window's bad, but boy, they cost themselves a lot of money. They did not spray for the mare's tail. I don't know what the story was. I don't know if they just used Roundup, if they didn't throw in some generic Callisto, but for an additional investment of, even let's say if they had to make an additional pass with the Callisto of, let's say, $12, $15 an acre, from what I'm seeing on the yield monitor, you probably can't see that, that's they're only getting 100 bushel an acre, where the weeds aren't bad. It's 150, 60, 70 bushel an acre, but where the weeds are bad, it's 70, 80, maybe 100 bushel an acre. It's just, you know, I don't know. Unfortunately, with this guy here, his father-in-law's got Parkinson's. I don't know if this guy ever did much with farming, but he's a loan guy for a bank around here, so for ag loans, so you'd think he'd know, but good to have my buddy Paul in the grain cart today helping me out. Alright, I gotta put this down because this is a rough farm. So, several years ago, wore a hole bottom of my Kinzie, patched it with a old soup can, put some stuff in, but obviously it's made its way through. Started noticing little piles, so I have some tin, but it's not much, so I'm just gonna do the best thing I can. Lay a little flashing over here. Let me cut this in half. Use the #1 secret weapon, duct tape, at least for today. And then I've got some stainless steel, some heavier stainless steel stuff that I'll put on here. I'm gonna cut a big patch and go from like here all the way around. I got that'll work. Well, there, we'll see if this works for today. Get me by. Show you another problem I got. Let's see here, where's my stuff? And we'll use the handyman secret weapon again. So I got a hole in my loading tank coming, well actually it's from up inside of here. Majority of the corn falls inside the machine, so then as soon as you start it up, just sucks it right through. Well, got a little bit that dribbles out here. Let me see if I can just patch it again, get me by for this year, shove a bunch of duct tape up in there. Alright, well, I don't think that'll last too long, but shove some duct tape in that corner at least, and well, now we're moving equipment from over by Eagle, Nebraska, all the way to Odo, and you know, I got a trailer. A lot of times I trailer my combine, but kind of getting with daylight savings now. Gosh, it's only 5:30 and it's getting dark already, and we had to drive the grain cart anyways, so we're just driving over there. And yeah, this is it's a pretty decent. We know a bunch of back roads here, but a lot of narrow bridges here in Odo County, and gotta look at those weight limits. And I don't have duals on my combine, but you want to talk about being a little scared going over here. All it would take is one little break, one bad, sorry, I'm concentrating here, because yeah, it only takes one bad board. All of a sudden I'm going down into the creek, and there is not much room on either side of the tires there. Whew. It just always puckers up a little going across those. I should have videotaped the last one, because the last one, the tires actually were hanging off the outside edge just a little bit in one spot, and so that one I wanted it probably came quite this way, but I don't know. So we're moving along. This corn that we just got done with, it was wet. It was every load was 19 or more, and it is November 8th. But shoot, that wasn't planted until June, like 4th. And supposedly we had the frost before it reached black layer, and so it's never going to dry. It is what it is. Bad thing is, by the time you take it to the elevator, they take a third of the load almost. By the time you figure in the dock from 4.5 points of dock, it just really hurts. But what are you gonna do? As heck, we could have a snowstorm here next week and blow it all on the ground. So hopefully this next field we're going to, we're hoping is at least below 18. It's just we're down to about 60, 70 acres. Oh no, more like 80, 90 acres, sorry. Get it done. I'm ready to turn the key off and start putting on some fertilizer. There is a lot of corn still out in the country, especially the farther south you go, because again, it's not drying. And the elevators around here, some of them don't even have the grain dryers anymore. So you gotta be careful, if the elevator will even take it. They've got signs saying, hey, we won't take this if it's over 17.5%. So, and they'll let you fudge, hey, if you're bringing a load in, or, okay, hey, I opened the field up, it's too wet, whatever. So, yeah, there's a lot of people. The neighbor, I bet you he's got 2,000 acres left from where we were combining before. He pulled in, cut a semi-load, maybe 2 semi-loads, and then he had to pull out. So, it was too wet. Huh. Must be their parade float there or something. Alright, always fun when you meet a car here. This isn't bad with the 6-row. This is so darn, narrow. You just go right down the road, and really the combine does. I don't like driving with the header on necessarily this far, but having some weight on the front tires really makes the combine ride and drive a lot better. When I don't have weight on the back tires, well, I got 1,200 pounds of weight on the rear axle.
to offset when I have a big corn head or bean head on, or especially an 8-row corn head, and we're in some hills, so you got to have that weight. Well, that makes it hard on that back axle. It starts bouncing, especially, I don't know if I told you guys, I had a flat tire, blue back right tire, and so they stuck me just kind of a spare tire on there, and it's not the same, so it doesn't necessarily drive quite the best going down the road. But well, we're still about 7-8 miles away, so